What's going on, fight fans? It's your host Sebastian, and welcome back to the Boxing Tip. Now, within the last couple days, there's been some news reporting that Manny Pacquiao has thrown out a price for him facing Terence Crawford. Now, there's been a lot of shit on YouTube talking about, Pacquiao's overpricing himself, he's ducking Crawford, this and that. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say he's overpricing himself, given what Manny Pacquiao has done in the sport. Not to mention, aside from all that, not to mention the fact that he is basically like one of the two fighters who holds basically the highest pay-per-view sales in boxing history. Or I think they might even hold the record for pay-per-view buys, period, and the most money generated, or the fight that generated the most revenue, and that was his fight between him and Floyd Mayweather. Now, Manny Pacquiao in his last fight with Jesse Vargas, I don't know exactly what he made after the percentage, but I know that he made a minimum of $4 million versus Jesse Vargas, which was a fight that would not even be aired on pay-per-view for HBO. So Top Rank came in and decided to air the pay-per-view, exclusively through Top Rank, or, instead of going through HBO to air the pay-per-view, which probably would have made it more accessible. But given HBO and their recent situation with their, boxing budget cuts and this, them kind of being very selective on which fights they choose to air on their network, nevertheless, I think Pacquiao, a $20 million offer, or $20 million for Pacquiao to take the Terence Crawford fight, isn't necessarily out of the question. This is negotiations, obviously. They haven't really gotten started really getting into some serious negotiations up until recently. We've never even heard an offer being made about the fight until recently. So that's good news, because now that Pacquiao got, his fights for the year and Crawford got his fights for the year, now it looks like they're more so, heading in each other's direction. And, it's a very productive fight for the sport. We have one of the most accomplished boxers in the sport of boxing, over the last decade or so, and one of the most highly regarded pound-for-pound fighters today, which, in my opinion, both could be considered pound-for-pound fighters. I guess Manny's retirement, I don't know if that resets everything or not, but his retirement was very brief. So to me, it's basically like he never left the sport, or he went on a long layoff without having a fight. But to me, he never really left the sport. So I don't think $20 million is out of the question, especially for what I would consider to be a risky fight, going up against Terence Crawford. I do hold Terence Crawford's boxing ability in high regard myself. I am a fan of him. I'm also a Manny Pacquiao fan as well. So this is an exciting little shred of news for me, because, like I said, it's starting to seem like these two are getting serious about negotiating for a fight. Not to mention they share the same promoter, so there isn't any of that confliction with them fighting or anything like that. And they usually do fight on the same network, which is HBO, with the exception of Manny Pacquiao's last fight with Jesse Vargas. Now, I've been seeing other little articles here and there saying that the only opponent that was presented to Manny Pacquiao from Bob Arum is Terence Crawford. I guess the fight does make sense when you want to talk about, the Top Rank stable. Two of the biggest draws that Top Rank has in their stable right now. It would only make sense, to pin them up against each other. It's a good money fight, Also, it gives Terence Crawford that opportunity to maybe shine a little bit brighter than he has been, assuming he can defeat Manny Pacquiao. No one really seems to have an easy time when they fight Pacquiao, so I'm not going to just go out of my way in saying that this is a guaranteed win for Terence Crawford, though I do have Crawford, I do give a good chance to Crawford of winning the fight. But that's not really what this video is about. It's not really about who I think would win. It's just more so about the fact that the two fighters, now that Manny Pacquiao obviously has Terence Crawford in his radar, he's throwing out a nice big offer, or a nice, what I'm saying, throwing out a price for him to fight Terence Crawford. So hopefully, Bob Arum does whatever it takes to get this fight made, because like I said, it's a good fight. It's a good chance for a young, talented fighter in Terence Crawford to really get that superstar fight. And it's a chance for Manny Pacquiao, because he's basically on his way out, to get a nice payday for fighting. So, and he deserved it. He's been in the sport a very long time. He's accomplished a lot of things, and to me it only seems fitting that he does get good money for his fights. I think that's respectful, like I said, given his accomplishments in the sport. Has always been a pay-per-view draw. Even his Vargas fight did pretty well when it came to pay-per-view buys. So I think he might even have done better numbers than Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward. So I don't see where the pricing himself out thing comes with. I mean, he's already making, a reported minimum of $4 million a fight. Plus, he gets a percentage of every, of all the pay-per-view buys, and I think he gets a percentage of the total revenue a fight generates. So, he stands to make pretty good money regardless of who he fights. I'm sure he made good money for the Bradley third fight with Bradley. I know he made good money when it came to Jesse Vargas fight. And if you ask me, Terence Crawford's nowadays a bigger draw than both of those two fighters. So, in my opinion, so I don't see how $20 million would be out of the question. But given recent pay-per-view dry spells, I mean, maybe that would be a little hard for Top Rank to kind of compensate, to come up with that money to pay Manny Pacquiao. But it also gives them a chance to put one of their younger fighters who has, a lot of years left in his career to get a victory over, a figure in boxing like Manny Pacquiao, and, kind of gain a new cash cow, if you will. So I guess it benefits him, in one way or another. So I would like to see the fight happen. I mean, I know there was talks about the fight happening, before, but seeing how Manny Pacquiao has been performing, it doesn't seem like he lost a step too much. He might not be the biggest power puncher, or the same power puncher as he was, being that he hasn't had a knockout, in recent times. He did have the Chris Algieri performance where he was knocking him. I think he knocked him down like 6 times in the fight. Nevertheless, knockdowns still make for a pretty exciting fight. But and he knocked down Bradley as well. So Manny Pacquiao still has what it takes to be competitive in fights. He's not completely far gone to the point where he's just going to get demolished. So obviously, Terence Crawford still has a very big obstacle in front of him, And Manny Pacquiao, he does have a hungry, young, very talented fighter in his radar as well. So to me, it has all the good, it has all the makings to be a very successful fight, very exciting fight, and a very competitive fight. But let me know what you guys think, man. What is this? What do you feel this offer means? Like I said, I know a lot of people are saying that he's trying to price himself out of a Crawford fight. I'm not exactly sure how true that is. I think it wouldn't be it's not very logical to come to that assumption yet. Let time sort that out, and see how the negotiations go between these two guys. Maybe that'll give you a more clear picture of what's going on. But other than that, I'm saying, just let me know what you guys think about it, whether you think he's overpricing himself, whether you think he deserves that type of money, and just let me know what you think about that fight in general. Who do you think would win? But I didn't want to make this video too long. I'll try to get another one out today, guys. Boxing has been obviously a little slow due to the time of the year. 2017 isn't really going to pick up until about another week or so, with the Davis fight versus Pedraza, fights like that. So just stay tuned, and hopefully the videos, I'll get back to making about 4 videos a day. That's what I want to do. But till then, share the video with your boxing homies, subscribe to the channel, introduce somebody to boxing. 2017 is very close to, jumping off, so make sure you get somebody caught up just in time. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one, man. Peace.